it was an honor. I was very excited to be able to share some of the work that I've been working on in the lab, and I thought it was a really cool experience to be able to share some of my research at the same time while a bunch of other students were also doing the same thing. I think it's very rewarding because I've been there during many of our data collection sessions where we've had the subject go through all of our conditions, all of the study, and then being able to look at the data and see oh, what did this all mean? What does this mean for ACL injuries? I think that was really cool that I got to look at that and be involved in something like that. It was about a study that I've been working on in the biomechanics lab. It is entitled "The Effect of the Trunk Being Held Back on Knee Mechanisms During Landings." So basically we were administering a trunk perturbation to the subject, which is just like an unanticipated external force that pulled the subject backwards while they performed a jump, and we're just seeing how that affected their ACL when they landed. So far, we have had about 30 participants. The data that I examined for my poster and presented on was only the first few subjects, and so that was a limited sample size. But what we found is that the trunk flexion angle, which is basically how far forward did the subject bend, was reduced when we administered the trunk perturbation compared to when they just performed a regular jump. That indicates that there might be some extra ACL loading that could contribute to more ACL injuries. And we also found that there was an increased vertical ground reaction force, which is basically how much force that you apply into the ground when you land, that was higher for when we administered the perturbation versus when we didn't. And so some of these variables that we found that are associated with the trunk perturbation are also associated with increased risk of ACL injuries. I'd say get involved in any research that sounds at least remotely interesting, because even if it's something you're not sure if you would actually want to pursue in your life, even if you don't think you're going to go study biomechanics in the future, I still think it's something really useful to be a part of. Because you get to learn a lot about the research, the research process, just generally how to interact with the subjects, how to interact with your fellow researchers. So regardless of what the study and the research is actually about, I think it's really a great opportunity to get involved and learn about it.